Copilot Money or Monarch Money, which budgeting app is better? Today I am comparing the two side by side so you can choose which one is best for you. Hey there, I'm Brittany Flammer. I'm a certified financial coach and the creator of Fit Finance Club. Now, both of these are good budgeting apps. I'm just showing you some key features and comparing them so that you can decide which one you prefer. If you want more information on either of the apps, I have detailed videos on both of them. I will put links to those in the description box and in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get started with ratings. Copilot has a score of 4.8 stars on their website. They don't have any Google Play reviews. The Apple Store, they have a 4.7 star review, but there's a little asterisk with that. They only have like 200 or 300 reviews in the store. Monarch Money has 4.9 star review in the Apple Store with almost 36,000 reviews and 4.8 in the Google Play Store. So the ratings are pretty close, but Monarch Money definitely wins. However, it doesn't really matter what other people think. It's all about what is most applicable to you. One important feature is availability. The Copilot app is only available on Apple devices. iPhone, iPad, Mac. There's no web version. It's only available with an app. So even on your computer, you have to download the app. Monarch Money, on the other hand, is available web-based and available on Apple or Android devices. For availability, Monarch Money definitely wins here. Now let's talk about accounts. And by accounts, I mean financial institutions. Copilot links to over 10,000 financial institutions using Plaid. Monarch Money links to over 13,000 institutions using Plaid, but also Finicity and MX. So if Plaid doesn't work, you can try linking one with one of the others. So with this, Monarch Money wins for the accounts, but it doesn't really matter how many accounts they can, and financial institutions they can link to if they don't link to yours. So I recommend trying it to see if they'll link to your banks. The only way to know for sure is to test it out, and they do both offer free trials. Copilot Money offers a free 30-day trial for anyone. Monarch Money only offers a free 7-day trial. That being said, you can use my link. I will include it in the description box below, and you can get an extended trial so you get the 30-day trial. I'm not making any money off of it. I just like to share that because 7 days is not long enough, I don't think, to test it out to see if you like it. So for the trial, I would say Copilot wins. If you use my link, they're the same, but hands down, I guess Copilot wins without using any links. Now let's talk about the cost. Copilot is $95 if you pay for the entire year. If you pay monthly, it's $13 per month. Monarch Money, on the other hand, is $99.99 for the year, so essentially $100 for the year, and $13.99 per month if you do it by the month. So with this, there's not a major difference, but Copilot is cheaper, so Copilot would win for the price. Now, moving on to the dashboard. They will both show you a lot of information all at once. Copilot shows you where you're on track for your spending for the month, your most recent transactions, your net worth, your spending, and your upcoming bills. Monarch Money will show you all of those, but it is completely customizable. You can choose what it shows you. You can delete stuff you don't want it to show you. You can rearrange it. So I'm gonna say the winner for the dashboard is Monarch Money because you can do whatever you want and have it show you what you want. Now the accounts tab. They are both going to show you your net worth, both going to show you the balances of your accounts and your change over time. But they have different appearances. Both of them, if you click on them, it will expand, give you more information, or you can collapse it to see less. So I'm gonna say the winner here is a tie. I personally like the look of Monarch, but maybe that's just because I'm more familiar with it. So it's a tie. We'll give it a tie. Inside the transactions tab, they are both going to give you all the same basic information. The store, the category, the amount you spent, what account it came from, but they look different on each. Inside of Copilot, they show you the little box with an I, an R, or a T. This is showing you whether it's the transaction is income, reoccurring, a transfer, or if there's nothing there, it means it's just a regular expense. But they're gonna show you all the basic information. That blue dot means it has not yet been reviewed. If you write a tag in there, it will show up with a dot. Monarch Money is going to show you the store. The emoji and icon will show you if it's a transfer. Otherwise, it's just a regular expense. I'm just gonna show you the amount, what account it came from, also shows a dot. If there's a tag, there will be a dot. If it's reoccurring, it will show you a little calendar. So both of them show you all the basic information, and both of them are very easy to update the category. If the category is incorrect, you basically just click on the category and choose the category you want. Or if it's not there, it's really easy to create a new category. So I would say, once again, for the transactions tab, it is a tie, whichever one you prefer to look at. Now let's talk about automation. With both of them, you can do some basic automation. They will both let you set up rules. So inside of Copilot, when you update a category, if you change a transaction to a different category, it's gonna pop up and let you create a rule. If you click on that, you can change the rule based on the exact name or a partial name. It will show you the transactions that are going to be affected, and you can apply it. When you apply it, it will apply to all the past and the future transactions. Monarch Money is very similar. When you change a category on a transaction, it will pop up asking if you want to create a rule. You click on that, and it is going to open up and show you all of the different rules you can create. Now, you can create a ton of rules. You can do rules based on the name of the store, and you can do, like in Copilot, the exact name or partial name. You can do rules based on the amount, the categories, the accounts. You can add multiple layers, and then you can affect not just the category, but you can rename something, change the category, add tags. You can hide transactions, split transactions. It's very multi-layer. It's very customizable, which is a little bit complex when you're setting it up, but it is very customizable. So with this, for example, if I pay for something with PayPal, and I change, let's say I pay for piano lessons with PayPal. And if I update the category to piano lessons and create a rule in Copilot, every single PayPal transaction is going to be categorized as piano. Whereas in Monarch Money, if I create a rule, I can create a rule for PayPal transactions that are a certain amount will get categorized as piano. But if I create PayPal transaction for a different amount or above a certain amount or below a certain amount, it can get categorized for something else. So for the automation, hands down, Monarch Money wins. There are so much that you can do with it. With the investment section, they are both pretty much the same. You can link to your investments. It's going to import. It'll show you the balance, your holdings, your allocation. They're both pretty much the same. Monarch Money does have a feature that is in lab being tested. It's in beta right now. If your financial institutions work with Monarch, you can turn it on and it will actually import your investment transactions. If you want to see every transaction like dividends or when you purchase or sell stock, it will show that for you. I personally don't want to see that. So to me, they are exactly the same, but I guess I would give Monarch Money the win for investments because that is an option. Now moving on to the recurring section. Both of them will automatically with AI find your recurring bills. Neither of them are perfect, but they will both find them and mark them as recurring for you. When you open up the recurring, Monarch Money is going to count income or expenses. So anytime you have income reoccurring, it will mark that as reoccurring as well as your expenses. Copilot is only going to show you your expenses, but let's be honest, really that's what most people are looking at anyway. Both of them will show you how much you have paid versus what you have left to pay. Monarch Money, I mentioned, they separate income from expenses and from credit cards, whereas Copilot lumps it all together. With both of them, you can edit the amount, the due date, how much you owe, when they are due. Monarch Money does have more options for how frequent the due dates are. Copilot does show you some key metrics. The graph for the past year, how much you've spent in past years. So the winner, I would say, is a tie-ish. They both have some good. Monarch Money shows you a little bit more detail and has more options for due dates, but Copilot will show you all those key features. So really, personal preference once again. Now moving on to the budget section, which is probably the most important one if you are using it as a budgeting app. They both have a lot of similar features, but they kind of look and feel a little bit different. Copilot overall view is showing you how much you've spent versus your total budget. They have regular categories and then they have excluded categories. Like if you don't want them to count against your budget, you can separate the two. It's very visual with the red, the orange, the green for your spending. You have categories, and then you can create subcategories within that. They're all separated with different colors to help you differentiate. To edit, you just click on a category and you can edit the color or the emoji. You can adjust the budget. You have to remember to save it or it won't save it. It does show you a lot of your spending history. You can adjust the budget for that month or for every month, and it will show you all of your similar transactions at the same store, which is pretty cool. It is harder to rearrange your budget categories after they've been set up inside of Copilot. It just takes a couple more clicks. You have to click those 3 dots and then click which category, and then it will move it. But there is a lot of customization with the emojis and the names, and there's a lot of information there. Monarch Money is a zero-based budget. It automatically imports the numbers inside of your budget, but you can go in and manually enter any number you want for your income or for your expenses, and then it will show you how much you have left to spend or if you're over budget. You can click on any category and it is going to show you your 6 months of history. It's going to show you the average spending. You can click on any specific month or click on the average and it will automatically populate with that number, or you can override it by just typing in a number. It automatically is going to apply this budget amount to every future month unless you deselect it. Automatically selects that. You have to click it if you don't want it to apply to every future month. It is still visual with green and red. Green means money left to spend, red means you've overspent. To change a category to a different group, you can click on it and move it to a different group, or you can go into settings and you can drag and drop and rearrange all the categories. One thing that is annoying about Monarch Money inside the budget, if you haven't budgeted an amount for a specific category, it doesn't show it. It's kind of hidden. You have to click and show the hidden ones, which is kind of annoying, I personally think. But it does have a forecast for the entire year, and this is huge, especially if you have inconsistent income or for planning for some of those bigger irregular expenses. This is a great way to see your year at a glance, which I personally really love. Also, new in Monarch is flex budgeting. Rather than have every single individual category, they have 3 buckets. So you can just focus on your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, and your kind of sinking funds, non-monthly expenses. But for those variable expenses, you can just do one number for the entire group. You don't have to individually do each category, which is really helpful for some people. So the winner, they're both really, really good. Copilot gives you a little bit more history. Once you've linked accounts, it will show you a longer history, but I think Monarch Money is more user-friendly personally, and the forecast feature, I think it's better. Inside the cash flow tab, supposedly Copilot has a cash flow tab. I do not see mine. I've reached out to customer support. They've responded, but it won't let me read the response, so I don't know why I don't have a cash flow tab. Monarch Money does have a cash flow tab, and it's a great visual. You can click on any month, see where your money went. This is really huge, especially if you're a visual person and the numbers don't mean a whole lot. You can see how much is going towards debt or how much is going towards your mortgage or your groceries or your eating out. It helps you visually see the categories. And if you click on a category, it'll take you to all those transactions. So I really like that. I'm sure Copilot's is good, I just can't see it, so I can't review it for you. And if I'm having that issue, I'm sure I'm not the only one. So I'm gonna say Monarch Money wins for cash flow. Reports section. Copilot does not have a report section. You can filter in the transactions and you see a lot of history on the bar chart of different categories, but there is no report section. Monarch Money has a report section. You can see visual graphs, Sankey charts, bar graphs of where your money's going. You can choose which accounts to include, which categories to include. Great visual. You can share those images with people. Really helpful. So the winner here is clearly Monarch because Copilot doesn't offer that. Next up is the goals section. Once again, Copilot does not have a goals section. Now you can create categories for your goals and get around that, but there's not actually a section meant for your goals. Monarch Money does have a goals section. You can have that visual, create savings goals. I really like it. In theory, I like having it. You can link your transactions to your goal, so it'll help you reach your goal or take away when you spend the money, but it's really tricky, kind of finicky, and I don't personally use it because it's kind of annoying. I feel like it's only helpful for very long-term goals that you're not going to touch the money within a year or so, but it is an option. So Monarch Money would be the winner, but it's kind of tricky. Rollover. Both of the apps offer a rollover feature. Copilot, you go into settings and you turn on the rollover feature and you can choose which categories it affects, but it all starts at the same time and you set set the amount. They all have to start at the same with one amount. In Monarch Money, any category can be turned on. Rollover, you open up that category and you turn on the rollover feature if you want it to roll over, and you set the amount for that category's rollover. So I would say Monarch Money is the winner with rollover. Maybe they're about the same. I guess there's not a huge difference. Now, Venmo, they will both link to your Venmo accounts. With Copilot Money, it's a little bit tricky. You sign into your Venmo account, and then they send you an email to the email linked with your Venmo account, and then those emails you get forwarded to your Copilot account. So it's kind of circular. I had issues setting mine up, so I ended up not setting it up. I'm sure once it's set up, it works fine, but it was a hassle and I didn't finish it. Monarch Money will link directly to your Venmo account and it will import your Venmo transactions immediately. The downfall of that is with your Venmo transactions, it shows up as 2 transactions for every Venmo transaction. It will show your Venmo transaction, like if you pay someone money, it will show that transaction. Then it will also show the transaction coming out of your account. So transferring from your account to your Venmo account. So that shows up as a transfer, it won't count against you. But when you pay Venmo, that transaction will count against you. So just know that every time you use Venmo, if you link your account, there are 2 transactions, which can get a little bit tricky, making sure one's a transfer, one's categorized. I personally don't use it a lot, so I actually delinked mine. I unlinked mine. And I just know that every time a Venmo transaction comes in, I have to recategorize it. But that's how it works for me in Copilot too, since it's not linked in Copilot. Anyway, so I would say winner here would be Monarch because it's a little bit easier to set up. Amazon. Copilot will link to your Amazon account, to one Amazon account for your device. And this is an awesome feature. It imports your 5 most recent transactions, and then from then on, it will import your Amazon. You do have to re-verify your account pretty often, which isn't hard to do. The downfall of this is if you buy something and return it, or pay with store credit, or get a gift card, it's not going to show up. So it just looks for Amazon transactions that match the amount of your Copilot transactions, and it will link them together to categorize them. So it's not perfect. I do lots of returns, and so those don't show up. But even if they don't show up, you can still see what you purchased, which is really helpful. Monarch Money does not have this feature, so I would say Copilot is the clear winner here. It's not perfect, it's kind of finicky, but it's better than nothing. Now, getting you set up inside the account. Copilot will automatically walk you through the process to set you up. It's automatically recommending a lot for you based on some questions that you answer. It is nice because it automatically does stuff for you, but it was a little bit confusing for me because I kind of know how I want my stuff set up, and they set it up differently than how I want it. And then it was a lot harder to, you can totally go in and edit and readjust, but it would just be easier for me to set it up the way I want from the beginning. But if you don't know how you want your setup, it's automatically going to walk you through to set it up for you. So that could be really helpful for some people. Monarch Money comes with about 60 default categories, and if you scroll through them, they have them all by default. It is very easy to rearrange them, drag and drop, deactivate ones that you don't want if you don't use them. It's a little bit overwhelming because there are so many categories, and you shouldn't have all of them. It's confusing if you have that many categories. So Copilot's a little bit easier in the fact that it doesn't have as many categories, but Monarch is much easier to customize. If you choose to use the flex budgeting, it just has the 3 buckets, and you can drag and drop the categories in the different buckets you want, and it will walk you through everything. So I personally felt like setup was a lot easier with Monarch Money because I could just drag and drop. There is no drag and drop feature with Copilot, but they're walking you through it. So kind of, once again, personal preference. Overall, for me, Monarch Money is the clear winner because of the automation and the customization. But what's most important to you will determine which app is best for you. So in the comments down below, let me know which app is best for you. If you want to see the detailed videos of either of them, I'll have one of each playing up here, or you can check out my video with the 15 top budgeting apps if maybe you want to find a different one. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.